skill training video has been produced by Semker in collaboration with PSSC and CNK. This video is aligned to the job role Electrician Domestic Solutions, PSS/Q6001, QP code PSS/N6002. We are now going to learn about the types of tests and use of test instruments in house wiring. Why do we need to test house wiring? Before we discuss test of wiring, let us first gain clarity about why we need to test electrical installations. The main reasons to test a new electrical installation or house wiring before switching on the mains power supply are as follows. To know the cause of failure of a particular circuit or circuits or equipment and to locate the exact position of breakdown. To ensure that it is free from faults and is as per electricity rules. To receive the attention of the owner before any possible undue damage occurs. Types of tests performed in house wiring. The tests done on new electrical installation before switching on the mains are as under. 1. Insulation resistance test between installation and earth. 2. Insulation resistance test between conductors. 3. Testing of polarity. 4. Testing of earth continuity paths. And 5. Earth resistance test. Insulation resistance test between installation and earth. This test is performed to know the standard of insulation of wires and cables used in the installation. For testing the whole installation, the test is conducted on the main switch. A testing set known as mega is used for the test. It is a special form of ohm meter which measures insulation resistance in kilo, mega and giga ohms. Insulation resistance test between wiring conductors. This test is performed to ensure that the installation of the cables or wires is not damaged and there is no leakage between them. The insulation resistance so measured should not be less than 0.5 mega ohm. Polarity test in house wiring. In a low voltage installation, this test is performed to verify that each fuse or single pole control and protection device is connected only in phase wire throughout the installation. Through polarity test, it should be ensured that the phase, neutral and earth conductors at socket outlets are connected at the correct terminals. Testing equipment used for polarity test is known as multimeter. Now we will check the polarity test. You are seeing distribution board blue phase which connected with the appliance through the switch. Two switches which you are seeing came from blue phase from distribution board, which supplying power to light, as you are seeing by switching off the light became off and by switching on the switch light starts glowing. Other switches for exhaust fan. By switching off the switch, exhaust fan stop and by switching on the switch it starts running. Now we will check the polarity of the switch wire connected. It will ensure that blue phase wire from the switchboard connected with switch. By mistake, if neutral wire get connected with switch in that condition, we can control light exhaust fan. But in that condition, phase supply will be available at appliance in both time, that is switch on and switch off, which is unsafe for human being. For that reason, through polarity tests, we get ensure that phase connected with switch. For polarity test, we will use digital multimeter to test continuity. Before testing, we have to switch off that phase power supply. Now we have switched off the blue phase power supply and removing blue phase wire connected with the switch on, which we are going to test polarity. Now one external wire which is blue in color going to connect with the main distribution board, blue phase wire which connected with the switch. Now we have selected continuity mode in multimeter. First we will be ensuring that multimeter working in continuity mode or not, for which we are touching the both probe terminal, beep sound coming. It is giving indication that it is in working. Now we are making contact switch outgoing point with multimeter red probe and multimeter black probe connected with distribution board blue. Phase wire. Beep sound starts coming which is showing that polarity is proper, that is phase wire connected with switch. Precautions to be taken during use of test instruments. Electrical hazards. Electricity is a serious workplace hazard, exposing employees to electrical shock, burns, fires and explosions. Employees have been killed or injured in fires and explosions caused by electricity. Selection of test instruments. To comply with electrical industry standards and regulations, it is important to select and use the right test instruments according to the application. Electrical safety checklist. Use a meter that meets accepted safety standards for the environment in which it will be used. Use a meter with fuse protected and be sure to check the fuses before making current measurements. Physically inspect test lead before making a measurement. Use the meter to check continuity of the test leads. Use test leads that have shrouded connectors and finger guards. Use meters with recessed input jacks. Select the proper function and range for your measurement. Be certain the meter is in good operating condition. Follow safety procedures of all equipment. Always disconnect the hot, that is red, test lead first. Don't work alone. Use a meter that has overload protection on the ohms function. When measuring current without a current clamp, turn the power off before connecting into the circuit. Beware of high current and high voltage situations. Use appropriate equipment such as high voltage probes and high current clamps.